Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Expeditions Viking. We have finished up here in the marsh and are ready to go back to Reeb. I'm tempted to camp, but I'm hoping we're not going to run into any trouble in Reeb at this point, since we already cleared it all out. So, yeah, we should be well rested. It's just the fact we've got a couple of injured people that I'm worried about. But I'm going to risk it and just go straight to Reeb. After we deal with that, I think we're going to head back up to Skjern to give the medicine to Nephia's sister. At least that's the plan. You've trekked for the better part of a day under dark and ominous clouds when it begins. A small tap on your shoulder, a frigid droplet on your cheek. Icy pellets spill from above as a torrent of hail overtakes you. The howling wind whips frozen rain against you, and a cry of dismay rises from your herdsmen. Set your jaws and pull up your cloaks. There's nothing for it but to keep moving. Or quickly, we can raise a lean-to and weather it there. I'm inclined to say just push through. It's only a couple of hours to Reeb. We already know we need to camp soon because of injuries. So I would rather us not waste a bunch of time. Instead, just push on, get to where we're going, and then afterwards we can camp on our way to Skjern. I don't know. That's the thought. Hopefully my herdsmen aren't terribly upset that I'm not getting them out of the hail. Set your jaw and pull up your cloaks. There's nothing for it but to keep moving. No negative effects so far. While grumbling and cursing, you'll hastily wrap yourselves in heavy cloaks and lower your heads against the downpour, pushing onward. Also, by the time you set up a tent against a hailstorm, either the hail's going to end soon because usually it doesn't last too long, or you're already soaked enough and frozen enough that I don't see the point. It's better just to push on and hope it ends quickly. After some time, you notice that Nephia is shivering uncontrollably and has developed a racking cough. Well, that's not good. Her clothes are soaked through and her eyes are bright and feverish. After a while, the downpour ceases and the hail slackens to a cold, misty drizzle. So she gained a light infection of the chest. Okay, well, we're going to be camping soon, as stated. So that's just one more injury we need to heal. Not great, but again, I don't know how much we're going to need to do, and we're already a third of the way through our time. So, yeah. So she's now got a light infection of the chest and moderate burns to her leg. But I'm hoping, as I said, that there's not going to be any combat while we're in here. But would it be smart to switch out one of these injured people? It might be. Can I not? I can't deselect either of them. Neat, I did not notice that. So I was planning to pull Nephia back out of the party because of how injured she is and put Adis in. But it seems that is not an option. I could switch Gunnar for Adis. And maybe there's something to be said for that. I also was looking at these loyalty things before I actually started. Just one moment. So you can see their loyalties listed here, and their morale tells you, or it affects their physical and mental resistances. So the more they trust you, the better they are at resisting various attacks. And so possibly part of the reason Gunnar and Aesleif keep getting stunned. I mean, part of it is that they're up front getting hit, but also they're both at -3. Which means they are taking penalties to their resistances because they just don't trust me. So that's something to think about and try and figure out ways that we can boost their loyalty. Alright, let's head in. Alright, so goals-wise, we need to get to the temple. We need to... Probably we should talk to the Jarl first, actually. Talk to the Jarl, let her know that we accomplished the tasks at the marsh temple, and then we can go to the longhouse to recruit people for our ship. But reporting into her, I think, is the sensible starting point, since she's the ruler of this town. Hi, Ranghilder. Ranghilder the White politely stands when you approach her seat and clasps your wrist in a firm grip. Willkommen to Reeb, Alfbjorn. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit? The marsh is safe. No one else will be lost. Truly? What did you discover? There were 3 brothers, malformed but only men. They are dead now. Forge, foul giants from Uthgard. We slew them, though the battle was worthy of song. How superstitious are we? We did say they were giants. From a distance. Do we still believe that they're giants? I'll be honest. I don't know about us increasing the tales. There were 3 brothers, malformed but only men. They are dead now. She breathes a sigh of relief, though her expression holds a hint of sadness. Whatever drove them to such evil, they're free of it now. So skeptical followers gain morale, superstitious have lost morale. Yeah. So if we'd gone with the other one, probably the other way around. We have been getting a lot of morale with our superstitious followers, so it's probably not bad to work on the other side. In any case, you've done Reeb a great service. Thank you, son of Ulfricker. And we are now even better liked by Reeb. As promised, your reward. 1,000 valuables, and then 5 skill points. If you need my counsel, my door is always open to my neighboring thanes. Okay, yep, so that's all done. So we have the Frail One while we're here, and Hell Hath No Fury. We need to go back and tell Brana of Ranger's fate. Kind of forgotten about that one. And then hire some mercenaries. Anything else to say while we're here? No. Alright, then let's head out. Now, I don't remember where the burned out portion of the city was. It's not obvious on the map, unfortunately. At least to me. No, I thought it was up here, but this is just a construction site. Is it this down here? Yes. So let's talk to her next. And let her know that we dealt with her husband. I'm still unconvinced of exactly how that played out and who was truly at fault for everything that went down here. But we chose a side. Did you find that treacherous prick? Face down in the swamp. It was bloody. Or just, he's been dealt with. Face down in the swamp. It was bloody. Good. No one will mourn him. What of the possessions he stole? Everything I own. Do we give her the possessions? Yeah, we're trusting that what she said was true. I, as the player, am not as confident, but we went with her side of things. We're going to follow through with that. And we have them right here. Really? Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. So we lost his goods. With this, I'll be able to rebuild. Reach out to some old merchant friends. I've had enough of Reeb for a lifetime, though. Skjern could use a good merchant. Very good. If we can build up Skjern, then that's super worth it. Yeah. Because I think one of the rewards for building up one of the... I think the thing in our town in Skjern is that we get a merchant. If we can get a second one, that wouldn't be bad. Skjern could use a good merchant. Skjern, you say? A day or so north? That would do nicely. Sure. Let me gather what I need and I will meet you there. Excellent. Brana has joined you in the homestead. Well, that worked out really well. And I don't know what we lost when we gave her the goods. It didn't seem like it was valuables. It was something else in our inventory. As for our homestead, we still have 3 more days before I can buy something. But yes, I think if I go with the market, then we get a new trader. And I don't know how different she is compared to that. Well, let's see. We'll go up here to the temple next. And then we'll finish off with recruiting people for our boat. Oh, and we do have the 50 rations. So, when I was here last time, we tried to make an offering to the gods, but it took 50 rations, and so we couldn't. Feels a little risky to give up basically all of our rations, but also giving an offering to the gods feels like the right thing to do before preparing for a voyage. The Gita, yep, I don't know how to pronounce that, is cleaning around Odin's shrine when you walk into the temple. Hello again, how can I help you this time? I've brought back the moldy bark from the troll tree, and we are assuming it's enough to create the medicine, since we did give up half of it. What? Oh yes, the sick friend. Let me see. You hand her the bark, and she unwraps it from the cloth and examines it closely. Very good. This will do nicely. Give me a few hours, and I will have a remedy for your friend's affliction. 2 hours pass. The Gija returns to the temple holding a small wooden dish with the powder. She presents it to you. Take care of this. The mold on the troll tree will grow slowly. Simply have your friend ingest a small measure of the powder every morning and every night, and she should be well within a week. This better work or I'll be very cross. No. Thank you, Gita. The Gita's mind already seems to have wandered off. Hello again. How can I help you this time? I'd like to make an offering. She opens her arms in a gesture that encompasses the 2 shrines on the sides of the room. We have shrines to Odin, Thor, and Freya here, but I am happy to accept offerings for any Aesir or Vanir you wish to appease. Okay, so yeah, it's 50 rations. We give an offering to Odin that may grant me swiftness. An offering to Thor to be granted some strength. Freya to protect me in battle. Offering to Tyr to be granted discipline. Baldur for good fortune. Or an offering to Heimdall to grant me vigilance. I don't know how these actually apply. My guess is we are going to get some sort of buff. If there were, only 5 of them, I would assume we were just asking for a buff to one of our primary stats. Like getting a +1 or something. But I don't think that's the case. I'm going to make an offering to Freya for protection. We know our father fell in battle. And we've been having some rough fights lately. So, an offering to have more protection, to have Freya watching over us in battle and keeping us safe, feels like a wise choice. Giving up 50 rations does not feel wise, but it is what it is. I wish to give an offering to Freya that she may protect me in battle. Hopefully this is a long-term bonus and not a, for the next fight. You get some sort of boost. A talisman, okay. The gods will surely grant you their favor. Take this talisman as a symbol of your devotion. I may return soon. So let's check out this talisman. So we've got the remedy, cool. This talisman represents the protection of the Vanir Freya, the goddess of love and war. +5 mental resistance. Oh, we've got a +1 morale. Our morale is always at 10 because it's how much we like ourselves. And 10 is the max, and I don't think that actually helps us at all. That would be much better to give to anyone else. Yeah. See, that makes him like us a little bit more, which means his resistances should be slightly better. So, for instance, his physical resistance is 26. and then 24. So it gives him a slight better chance. Not that great, actually. Mental resistance of 16 versus 14. Yeah, your resistances are quite terrible compared to, say, mine of 64 and 46. He actually has decent physical resistance. Terrible mental, though. Yeah, interesting. But we'll give that amulet to Gunnar for the morale, just so he likes us a little bit more, which will help him survive a little bit better. Mostly, I think he needs a shield, but came to us built as a dual wielder, and I've been building him that way. So, giving him a shield is not going to be ideal. I don't know. We'll figure out what to do with him, but I don't want him to just keep dying. So now that we've made the marsh safe, we should be able to recruit people. Skullgrimmer stops at the training when he sees you. Now here's someone who knows a thing or two about courage, lads. The Monster Slayer himself. I heard you took care of the trouble in the marsh. Shit, the whole city heard by now. Warriors have been flocking to the docks looking for work now that the traders don't need the extra security anymore. If you're still looking to hire, you won't have any trouble. Let me tell you what I need. Or let me think on it. Let me tell you what I need. So is this just the build a new follower? Which is a standard staple in a lot of... Yeah, in a lot of CRPGs. So I could create new herdsmen. Do they cost anything? Because if I just created some random person and then gave them a whole bunch of our camping skills. Slash, yeah, like guarding, hunting, etc. Yeah. I need to look into this. Give me a moment. So I've done a bit of digging to try and understand this system. And what I figured out is that when we actually go on our boat, we're going to be able to have 10 of us. It takes 10 people to run one of these ships. So that's essentially what we're making here. But these extra people will be herdsmen that will be part of our camping. And potentially we could bring them out to join us in combat as well. Though I'm going to primarily want to use the main characters when we go around because they might have comments or they're going to be more interesting. But technically we could also create these herdsmen for the purpose of joining us in combat. What that means in my mind is that these people are probably best to focus on the various camping skills, and I should be putting less effort with my own people to have them do a lot of the camping skills. Or at least I don't need to be branching out as far. So I kind of regret giving Kettle all of those crafting skills because he would have been better to focus on, say, killing things better with a bow. And instead I could have created... no, don't finish that. I could have created this person, some random person here and given them all of the various crafting skills. So, yeah. It's a bit disappointing. What else? Anything else to consider as I'm talking about this? I guess we've got some skills that do affect camping, such as witchcraft and healing, that I probably still want on my main party as opposed to these extra followers, because they're used in combat, so better to have them with my people that go into combat. That's sort of my thought. So give me a moment to make some people. So I've thought about it. My plan for these people, I guess, going back, I've sort of varied skills, but my plan is that my main character for camping, I will keep focusing on healing, and then I'm not sure if I want to go down into hunting, or part of me wants to have a second person trained in witchcraft amongst the primary combatants. So maybe that's the direction I want to go. Unsure. We'll figure that out. Nefia, I'm thinking of having her just focus primarily down scouting. She's got a bunch of guarding as well, but I don't think... She can either do one or the other during a time slot, and so I'd rather have her just focus down one, and I've chosen scouting for her. Aceleaf and Gunnar are going to be our guards. Kettle, I'm going to have primarily focus on hunting. Nefia will use... Not Nefia. Roskva will use all of her time for healing and witchcraft. And then Adis will start out with cooking, and then probably focus on preserving. That's my thought. So then for these 3 extra people, one will be our crafter, and I'm just not going to go any farther into crafting with Kettle, and those are just wasted skill points. But probably also put secondary points into guarding, so that way, until they get up to, I think, rank 5 in guarding, they're going to need a secondary person on those time slots. And if Nefia is focused on scouting, then better to have an extra herdsman do it. If they have, I think they have each 3 points in guarding, so we just need someone with 2 points to cover those shifts, and we're then maxed out. So I don't need to go too deep into guarding. Then another one will focus on scouting to help Nefia get more scouting done. And then the last one I'm thinking will also work on preserve and hunting, both, because they're gonna have tons of skills if they're not going into combat skills. And we can put them on more hunting or more preserving of food, depending on if we have too much food going to waste. So I'm going to get to building them, and we'll come back once they're done, I suppose. Okay, so we've got our 3 people that we're adding to the party. Yeah. They turned out basically how I intended, although with these last 2, I also decided to put points into combat skills as well, just in case. So he's built to be sort of a melee tank, kind of similar to Aceleaf. So if any of our melee characters are injured and unable to continue on, we could potentially slot him in just as another good meleeer. And she has a lot of the more ranged combat options to fill in for some of our more ranged people if they are having trouble in combat. So that's the team. It's interesting the ordering we have here. I wonder why they've ordered it the way they have. But yeah, Gunnar being injured at the moment, maybe we will throw him into the team instead. I guess we could also choose Adis and use her more for actual combat things. I don't know. Something like that. They should be a lot more effective next time we decide to go camping. So that's that. If we go to our journal now, we need to return back to Skjern to give the remedy, and then we need to go to the tomb to raid it. And that's all we have quest-wise going on at the moment. Nothing left here in town, so let's, I guess, head to the nearest map point. Ah, here it is. Yeah, they mentioned that there were a bunch of warriors at the docks looking to get hired. I was wondering if we need to actually go to the docks to find people, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We just talk to him, and they just materialize people to join our team, which is fine. Where are we? We're here. So let's head out. I guess I don't know how much there is left to do here. We've got this whole area with nothing obvious to explore. Obviously, we can go back up to Skirn, but again, we've got all of this with no explorable areas we've found. And then we'll have to go here, but I'm wondering, are we going to get other quests in these areas, or is it just once we're done with here, that's the last thing on our to-do list? Seems unlikely. So how far away is Skirn? It's 19 hours. We're probably going to need to rest. We've been here to this one before. It's not that far out of our way, and it does have good food, shelter, and security. So it might be a good idea to just stop there, heal up, and then make our trip to Skirn. Yeah. But I think we will save that for next time. I'm unsure of how long this episode will have gone because multiple pausing to sort things out. So this might end up being a short episode. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.